Okay, so let's look at an implementation for the stream extraction operator for the time class. So a couple things, think back on the inner method. We want to make sure that we're doing our data integrity checks, and those are implemented in our set methods. So we're implementing a function that returns a reference to an iStream. The name of that function is operator, and then the little extraction operator. And we're passing in an iStream that I'm going to call in. And we're reading a time object. And since we're changing it, it has to be a reference. Okay. So the first thing, so again, we don't want to read, we can read directly into the private data members, but we don't want to do that because we want to make sure that we apply the data integrity checks. So I'm going to create some local variables called new hours and new minutes. And then I need a character for reading. And now I can extract these things from the stream that's being passed in as the parameter here. Just like that. So there are a couple of things that could go wrong, right? I mean, so, what if this input fails? What if this input fails? What if I don't read a character, the character I'm expecting? So, this implementation is not exactly perfect, but we'll look at how to improve it. So remember that one of the things that we did is we checked to see if CH is actually equal to the colon. And if it is, we're kind of assuming that this read on this integer was successful. Well, what we can do now is we can pass the integer we read into set hours, and we can pass the minutes we read into set minutes. Just like that. And if this succeeds, then we can return our input stream. Now there's all kinds of error handling that we could do here. Maybe after this, one thing we could do is we could check to see if in evaluates to true or if it evaluates the false, so we can check the state of the input stream. If something goes wrong, so here, for example, another thing we could do is we could set the state on the input stream by setting the fail bit. So there's all kinds of error handling that we could do, and it can get quite complicated. The other thing, too, is, we'll be learning how to throw exceptions at some point, and set hours will throw an exception, set minutes would throw exceptions. We could throw an exception if something goes wrong on this read. So there's a lot of different error handling that we could do, but just be aware of the different issues, where this method could fail, and some ways that we could do it. But the biggest thing that we want to do here is we want to do some data validity checks and make sure that just because it's a friend function, we can read directly into the private data members, that we're not doing that. We want to call these set methods so that they apply the validity checks. And we need this check here because this is actually a formatting check as opposed to a data validity check.